Imagine a perfect world where you can build a restaurant, open the doors, and make loads of money. Unfortunately, those days are over. It takes great leadership, hard work, and long hours to operate a successful restaurant. Together, we can make it happen. This is Restauranttopia. All right, welcome back to Restauranttopia. We've got another great episode for you today, talking about optimizing Google for my business, or in this case, for restaurants. Brian's kind of spearheaded this topic, so he's got a lot of great info here and always great show notes. I'd like to welcome back Anthony Hamilton.
What's up?
And Brian Seitz.
Hello, good afternoon.
Myself being Dave Ross, and we're going to get ripping and rolling.
Thank you, Dave. This is awesome. So I want to talk today about probably the best marketing tools of 2020 that no one is using. Google My Business. You search for any restaurant.
Wait, are you telling me to Google your business?
No, it was on first. It is actually a service called Google My Business by, guess who? Google.
Huh.
Imagine that.
All right.
I would never guessed.
Yeah, so this is the sidebar or whatever you want to call it on a general Google search that shows your restaurant's information. So you search Aladdin's Eatery in Cleveland. They have multiple locations. On the right-hand side, it's going to come up as their website, the company name, their hours, a bunch of different information that Google is serving up to you that was entered into, hopefully, by the business owner. Now, it's more of a community page, so customers can upload stuff and do different things, but it's very granular information that Google is capturing and putting out there before the customer ever goes to your website.
Can I say it's either like the best resource or the worst resource, depending?
It's not the best or worst. It's just a reality.
No. What I'm saying is it's incredibly amazing when it's upkept, but when it's not upkept, it's incredibly disappointing.
Yeah, no, and great point. But people are going there, and that's one thing I want to talk about today is how important it is. Why is this important, and why did I even want to do this episode?
Yeah, so can I ask something up front? So
Yeah.
is this a little bit, is this a social media place, or is this a general business listing situation?
No, it's more of it has a social media aspect to it, and I'm going to, as you'll hear in the notes here, I'm going to encourage you to go there and publish on it once a week. But it's a little bit of the old Google Plus combined into this one platform.
Gotcha.
That's a listing service. But do not think of it as just a general, like, this is my name, this is my address, this is, because it's so much more complicated than that. And you're also serving the Google gods,
Right.
And they're aware of this, and they're trying to do one thing and one thing only: provide the customer, the searcher, with the quickest answer to the question. And that does not mean they're going to send them to your website. So you better have your information correct on here, Anthony, to your point, because they may never go to that next step to your website, or they may go to your competitor. 90% of customers are more likely to visit a business that has added photos to their Google listings. That's interesting. One picture on his Google My Business page had 15,000 views. Think about your Instagram post. Think if your Facebook ad, did it get 15,000 views? I really want to talk today about one reason why this is so important. A friend of mine emailed me and wanted to show me some data that they got from Google My Business. And it was really incredible. They had the photos. They talked about how many times that the photos were viewed, and it's in the tens of thousands, which I thought was amazing, and how many people had found them on Google. But it really got down to the granular level. And I was like, wow, if you can get this data, if they're just emailing you this data, which if you go into their system and their back end, what data can you see? And I'll talk about that today. But in just this example, my friend's restaurant was up 1% in the number of people asked for directions, and it said 580 people asked for directions.
Wow.
And another 1,000.
Yeah, that's like 20 guests a day. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
No, and that's another 1,000 people visited the website. So if you think about the search pattern of somebody, they Google, and actually Google tells you what they asked for. Food near me. So food near me was the search term, and they clicked on, this restaurant came up, and they either clicked on the directions, or they clicked on the phone number or the website. So it's really fast tracking that customer experience and driving them to your place. So that's why it's so important to update this data.
Yeah, and I have to think of my own consumer habits. Like before before I realized there was a place called Eat Local Ohio,
Yeah.
on Instagram that you can go and flip through and see the photos and stuff like that's where I'm doing a lot of my dining choices now.
Mhm.
But prior to that, I was Googling a ton. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, my wife and I have a babysitter this weekend. So we're like, hey, where are you going to dinner? I mean, I'm going Google restaurants, West Side, Cleveland, and
Yeah.
then just looking at a list. I mean, I understand this.
Oh.
I'm sure there's a ton of people doing this.
And again, my preferred choice is Eat Local Ohio. Amazing content, amazing photos, and really inspires me on a place to pick. To
No,
go.
it's stupid amazing.
It is so good. But Google kind of copied them in some of their respects because the photos, not in the search realm, but in the ability to look at what the person is serving and the dining experience they're going to have. So let me just kind of go into my list here of what this is. So again, this is the right-hand side of the page of any search results that restaurant would come up. And it has your basic general information that you need to add to Google listing. You really want to participate in Google My Business because it's going to do two things. It's going to drive traffic to your restaurant, and two, it's going to help you rank higher with Google. This is, to me, the best tool of 2020 for marketing. It's easy. Not a lot of people are doing it, and it will drive real traffic to your restaurant. And if you look at the insights, which we'll go into it here at the end, you'll be able to see the data and actually be able to track it. So the first thing I'd suggest you do is you claim your business and then go in there and update all the information.
What do you mean by claim your business?
So Google My Business is going to just scrub the internet and then grab, because they got Google Maps, which this is kind of connected to, and they're just going to grab restaurants. So if they know that you have Aladdin's Eatery on Rockside, they're going to grab that and create a location for that. Now the data on there may not be up to date unless you claim it or someone else has updated the information. So you want to claim that it's associated with your Google account, and then update the data. So the restaurant's name is correct, the address is correct, the phone number is correct.
That's the one that always gets me.
Yeah, no, right? The phone number,
Right,
like
always.
the website, and then really now with our the COVID-19 days is that your hours are correct.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to put a customer off more than they drive 15 minutes to your restaurant and you're closed.
Well, even more importantly, like if you are open, like what are you open? Because you can see it'll say dine in, carry out.
Oh,
I forget what the other option is, but there's like three options you see, and you'll see some that are like the dine-in's an X, and then the carry-out. You're like, okay, so I'm not going to show up there thinking I'm walking in.
Oh, I was going to go to lunch at a deli on the west side of Cleveland, and it only had carry-out, and it was great. I got carry-out.
But you went there expecting to go and sit down and have lunch.
No, I didn't. I pulled it up. I pulled it up.
His expectations
Yeah,
are met.
yeah,
Yes.
I know. So
Yes.
I pulled it up, found it. It's like, oh, they can't do dine in. I'm not gonna have my lunch meeting there. I'm gonna grab takeout, and we'll have it at the office.
Yeah, perfect.
So how easy is this really? Because I can tell you from being tied to a stove most of my career, I'm not exactly IT savvy. So this kind of stuff intimidates me.
This is not IT. This is like data entry.
Oh, it's that easy.
And I would say it is going to be 30 minutes of your day on the first session, and then 10 minutes a week for your marketing person.
Nice.
The time commitment is super low, but I'm guaranteeing you the effect and the ROI on this is very high.
Well, what's crazy is I start to think it's not even about the positive effects of doing it. It's about the negative effects of not doing it. That's what scared me, right? Like,
Oh, I love that. Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy because it's something. It's not you should choose to do. It's something you have to do.
Mm-hmm. People are going to this resource because they're being directed there by Google, and if you don't have it up to date, you're going to lose customers.
I remember the day I first used Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a web crawler guy. Funny, you said you made a web crawler joke earlier. Yeah, I remember how far this company's come. Jesus, like it's
Oh my God. Step number 2 here is fill in all the data, but write a great description. What does Google do best? They use their web crawlers to go through text, and that's exactly what they're going to do to your description. So you got about 750 words as we talked about it today here in 2020. They may up that or lower it, but they're going to search for things like brunch, cocktails, patios. Use descriptive keywords that are important to your operation that people are going to search. Very popular search, and we'll get into this later, but patios near me, brunch near me, breakfast near me, all the simple terms that people are going to use that need to be in your description. You do not have to have a degree in creative writing. I get it. but use the stuff that's going to make sense for your restaurant.
Listen, if you're having a problem writing it, because sometimes we get blocked, go start looking up restaurants in New York or LA or Chicago that aren't near you and see what they wrote. Copy, paste, adjust, and call it a day.
Correct. And SEO is constantly evolving and changing.
Yeah.
But this is like SEO light in the sense of Google has already set everything up where you can check boxes and do everything.
Sure.
So when their algorithm is scrubbing this, they're going to see this stuff.
Right.
So, all right. The next one, and this is is homage the correct word, but to Eat Local Ohio.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's
I like saying it. You sound classy.
I
Like
do.
Homage.
but high quality photos, high quality video.
This is something I'm incredibly passionate about, and I'll tell you. Go ahead, please.
No, go ahead.
I just
Lay it
I
on.
wanted to stake my claim in the conversation.
No,
here coming
make it
up.
happen.
This is one where I think if operators don't control it's not a narrative, obviously, but that's kind of a 2020 word to say, controlling the narrative or controlling the photography, it's a disservice to you. Because unfortunately, people don't have the same passion, nor does a negative impact affect them. So they think they're doing you a favor by snapping a photo of this half-eaten steak with the flash on a
Yes.
Saturday night, like a busy night where they've moved the garnish and the plate spilled something or they spilled something on the plate. And they're like, oh my God, I'm here eating, and it's like, it's amazing. But it's like, that's not attracting anybody.
No.
Like, we can't taste it, right? So it's got to be those picture perfect things. And going back to Nicole at Eat Local Ohio, the quality of her photography is stupid good. So that's the kind of thing you want. And look, it's like a sign. I mean, it's what it is. Signage.
They are, with Google Images and everything that Google is doing to search photos now, this is really something new that you need to focus on. And Anthony, great point. Make sure the photos are high quality. Hire someone to do it. Call Eat Local Ohio. But make sure that you're uploading at least weekly new photos. And I'm gonna tell you a little trick here. Also, video. You can upload videos of your restaurant. You can do a walkthrough. You can interview the chef for 10 seconds. Anything that you're posting on Instagram or some of these other platforms, you can also post here. So this is another destination for the content you're creating. Remember,
Nice.
as a restaurateur, you are a content creator. At the end of the day, that's part of your job description, just as much your culinary skills. So you need to be uploading this content at any place that you can, and this is one of the best.
Well, I like that trick too, because a lot of times it seems daunting. Like, you're like, oh great, another social media avenue, another chunk of work I got to do in my day that's already filled up 23 hours. So the 1 hour of sleep I'm getting is going away. But if you just use the same content and just blast it on all the platforms, like, I think you're in good shape.
No,
I love that.
You are. A great resource for really cool camera apps is in our episode 21 LinkedIn. If you want to check out those show notes on how to use LinkedIn to market your restaurant, amazing. Adobe, Photoshop Express, and there's some other ones on there that actually help you take better photos.
Yeah, and these are easy things to do. These aren't.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a graphic designer or a photographist.
And I can tell you,
Brian and I use these.
I can tell you firsthand that I rate the legitimacy of your restaurant based on your photos. I can tell so much from a picture from my standpoint. I think I'm too far away again. I can tell so much from a picture.
Now you're too close.
No, I'm too close. Okay, now I'm going to back up.
We made you too paranoid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, now
The
I'm
biggest
fucked
thing
up.
was it's not the closeness.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Side
it's
to
over
side.
here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you got to just try
Got
to
it.
be directly
Yeah.
on it.
All right, heard. So I can tell a lot from your business just looking at a photo, and maybe because I'm a cook, right? But I can understand your technique. I can understand your attention to detail. I can understand your passion very, very clearly through photos.
Yeah.
And that's why Yelp was always such a dangerous thing for me, is because I would look at people's photos and they chose to be the barbarians climbing over the wall and taking these pictures. And it's like, oh my God, it's a free for all. Like, does the owner not have any input on what's being presented on that person's business? And it's unfortunate. So anyway, going back to the pictures, please, please, please focus on high quality pictures, and don't take your own opinion. Like, pass them around and see if everyone at the table likes your pictures. It's a big deal.
And I'll give you some insider stuff here. If you go to Eat Local Ohio and you DM Nicole, she'll come to your place and she'll do a free photo shoot and probably some video work as well. And then she'll give you all the photos. So reach out to her.
No, definitely do that. I highly recommend it. Number 4, reviews. Anthony, to your Yelp point, like everywhere else on the internet, you have the ability to get reviewed on Google My Business. Please, people, respond to reviews, good, bad, and different. Say thank you. If there's a problem, there's definitely ways to handle bad reviews. We all know how to do it. It's not, never come to my restaurant again and you didn't tip well. I mean, there's definitely good ways to do
I'm
this.
going to go all like Yoda on you, and I'm going
Yeah.
to say bad reviews are a gift.
Lay it on me.
Love bad reviews.
Okay.
It gives me an opportunity to show people how I handle adversity. And I always prided myself on being, welcoming and cool and calm and level-headed. And I have someone that's disgruntled. It's again, to quote Danny Meyer, is this is an opportunity for me to make a friend for life.
Yep.
Because now I can engage with this person, and guess what? They're going to want to listen to me now, because I got something of value I can give to them. They need indemnified, and I want to make them complete again, plus a little more. We're going to be shaking hands, we're going to be hugging every time they come in from there on out, and everybody got to witness that ascension. I think is important.
I like that, and I talk to so many owners and operators that they feel like some customers are trying to hustle them. I just don't see that. I don't see that people are out there trying to get a $25 gift card by writing a bad review. Do you?
I'd like to talk about that because I'm passionate about this. I feel like we, as operators, are trying to manage 99% of the people based on the 1% that are shitheads.
Correct.
So yeah, are there people that are going to go out there and they're going to, try to take advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. But that's such a small percentage. Don't treat everybody else like that person.
No, consider them a cost of doing business.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And you have all the data. Like, you have the ability to talk to the server and talk to the cook. And, again, guys, we're human. We're going to make mistakes. If there was a mistake, or if this person is just that 0.001% that is unreasonable and the expectations were just misaligned, hey, then, don't comp their meal or don't, credit them back. But figure out what to do for all the other customers that had a bad experience that you can really shine. I love that point, Anthony, to really show them what kind of operator you are, what your values are, and what you believe in.
Yeah, thanks. I think too, it's very important what you just said as far as don't comp their meal, because essentially you're going to end up firing a customer. And the popular move is you comp them and fire them, right? You comp them and say, hey, dinner's on us tonight, please don't come back. That happens actually quite not frequently, but enough in the industry. Make sure you log that information. Make sure you put that person's name in your reservation system so you remember next time they come in, because that 1%, yeah, to your point, it's only 1%, but they hurt, And I don't want you to manage the other 99% because of that 1%, but manage that 1% very, very effectively, and make sure that your employees know who they are. They're not welcome in, that sort of thing. I hate to say that, even I feel icky, but truth is there's some assholes out there that take advantage of you, and they don't give a shit about your livelihood. They care about their dinner, and that's it.
I don't know if this is all going to make the episode, but is this do we tell people not to come back? It's got to be shitty, right?
Firing customers is really not that uncommon. In fact, I'm seeing operators do it more and more now.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong with firing a customer.
No, I agree, but I didn't realize that this was something that happened to a point where we're having a discussion about it.
I had an acquaintance that I had the occasion to go out to dinner with him and his wife multiple times. Amazing restaurants we went to. I had a phenomenal culinary experience. He always had a problem. I would have fired him as a customer, and I fired him as a friend shortly thereafter. So, I think it's important to do that.
Yeah, and maybe
I'm
it
all
doesn't.
for the concept of it, but I didn't realize the frequency that it might be happening.
Okay, so it's maybe not the frequency that it does happen, but it should be the frequency of it should be happening, if that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Because so many times the customer is always right mantra bites us in the ass, because we subject our staff and ourselves to abuse. Perpetual abuse, like your friend you're talking about, the dissatisfied non-pleaser that continues to come back, and they abuse our staff and they beat them up, and then they tip 30 cents. It's great you sold some steak, but really, the ripple effect that individual does to tarnishing your culture and tarnishing your employee morale is terrible.
Well, yeah, and I suppose if it's so now I'm wrapping my head around what you're saying. So this is somebody that has habitually treated you bad. This isn't a one-time situation.
I mean, maybe it depends on what they did.
Yeah, okay. it could be a one-time situation, but it does go to, are you supporting your staff? Are you, again, if your staff did something wrong, I want them to own it. I want us to own it as a group and make it right. But if it is someone that's unreasonable, someone that's going to try to weaponize social media and go after you, I just think that now every customer has the soapbox and the printing press and the ability to send out 50 reviews that are unfounded. And that's why you do need to encourage your customers to write reviews, so it does water down the
and
bad
dilutes
reviews.
it. I can tell you, we opened a restaurant in a major metropolitan area that had a very young demographic, very tech savvy, and I shit you not, the first couple of weeks, holding phones up at the table so the server could see them, if you don't get me this, I'm going to Yelp right now. We heard that more than once. It was like a common thing. I know it seems crazy. Happened all the time.
Yeah, it's sad.
But weaponize is the word. And I don't think they fully understand what they're doing. It's like they want to serve their agenda, but they don't understand the impact it has on everybody else. I think you held a mirror up in front of them and explained to them exactly how it impacts. They'd probably feel pretty bad. But yeah, David, I'm telling you, man, you worked in restaurants for a little while. And just think if you were able to fire your customers.
Yeah. No, the concept of it, again, I get it. And even in any sales job, which the restaurants are, these servers and people are selling,
Yeah.
I agree. Like, you should have the ability to fire a customer. But I don't know. For some reason, I was like, wow. Like,
okay.
Okay.
I like it.
And again, if that sidebar doesn't make it.
I'm going to leave it in there. I think it's good. Another thing that I found on the internet that is very helpful is Google has some free marketing resources on how to deliver to your customers the request to write reviews, some posters that are printable that you can have up in the restaurant, anything from the window cling on the way in that, this is the Google My Business location or those sorts of things that I think are very helpful.
How do you guys feel about like canned up reviews? Like when it's obvious that it's a family member, like Brian's mom reviewing us, or it's like an employee reviewing the company.
I don't know. I think there's a way to do it to where it doesn't look canned up. I mean, if somebody's just got a positive outlook on a location, I don't know if I've ever. I'm trying to think if I've ever looked at a review and went, "Oh my God, it's totally like it's fake."
I see it all the time, and I think
Really?
I don't know. I look at a lot of reviews for some reason. Like if I'm on Amazon, I'm always going to average customer review, and I read through and see if I can get a base, right?
Sure.
And then you see the ones you're like, all right, I'm scrolling past that. It's obviously that person or that person's relative. Like it stands out like a sore thumb to me.
I think what you said earlier, Anthony, and maybe I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I go to the worst review and look at that.
Yeah.
And what was that problem?
Right.
Because sometimes if it's so minor, they're like, oh, the product worked amazing,
Right.
but it was like this.
But the box looked terrible.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
star.
Yeah, 1 star. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a little harsh,
Yeah.
And like if that's what it is versus, in the restaurant world, like, all right, the food is amazing, but they're slow.
Yeah.
All right, you're punishing them because they're slow, but is it because the food is amazing and they're super busy?
Right.
Is it that sort of thing that,
Right.
that they have 4 stars versus 4.5 or 5?
Seems like we need Google survey up next, right? Where they give them like a Likert style survey, which it's like the dislike and then much like, and then just take all the opinion, not opinions, I guess, take all the verbs out of it. So they can just check boxes and we'll just get data and call it a day.
Yeah,
'Cause-
I think some people though are unreasonable when they go to fill out these things.
Yeah.
And I know in the early days of Uber, when it wasn't a pandemic, this is 2019. If you gave the driver 4 stars, it was like giving him 0 stars. There was only room for 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's something that it's a place for you to continue the dialogue with your customer and engage with them, and I think it's vital.
Awesome.
A little known fact is that there's categories for Google My Business. You want to make sure that you have all 3 filled out. Along with the categories, there's just so many other areas. I want you to go into the homepage and the info part of your back end of your Google My Business account once you claim it, and try to fill out every piece of information you can. Give them as much information as you can. So what are they going to do? They're going to run that through their algorithm. You're going to game the system a little bit, and then you're going to float up to the top. Because I guarantee your competitors are not doing this. This is new, and the sooner you can get on board, the sooner that you're going to be on the top of the reviews.
Nice little pro tip there.
Yeah, no, this is good. The next pro tip is analytics. Number 6, Google Analytics is where we all learned about the word and trying to modify the SEO of our websites. But the analytics provided in Google My Business are amazing. I really want you to take a look at that. See how many people are calling your business. If you have 2,000 people a month calling your business, but you have no one answering the phones, or you're sending them right into a 15 prompt voicemail, that's not good.
That's going to cause some
Yeah.
sleepless nights.
It is.
Yeah.
Because remember, this thing is designed to make it customer friendly. It pops up on their phone, they're in their car, and I'm going to describe a use case scenario, but you're driving home, you're saying, food near me, you see it pops up with something that you really like, and you hit the call button to place an order. Dave is our resident caller. Like he only calls, never uses online ordering, and you never get to. I mean, you're already home. You're circling the block, and you haven't been able to place your order. Like that's intense. but you're going to see the data. And that's why I want you to take a look at the analytics. What things are your customers doing? What are they looking at? What photos are resonating with them? Do a deep dive on that. And the seventh thing here I want to talk about is download the Google My Business app. This is an actual app. It allows you to interact with the Google My Business section, and it is great. You can update it quickly. You can download photos quickly. You can upload videos. You can really interact with the platform.
So it's like a dashboard.
It is, yeah. And it keeps it
That's
fresh.
awesome.
And you can do it on a desktop too, but when it's on your phone, it's really cool.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah, convenient way to get it done. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, I thought it was really amazing.
So when did this come out again?
It's been out for a while.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've heard of it and I've seen a little bit of it, but I didn't know anything like this about it. This is pretty staggering.
No, but the only reason I was so excited about it was because of the numbers and the actual numbers of people that it's driving to your webpage.
That's crazy.
Or more importantly, driving to your competitor's webpage.
Mm-hmm, right.
Ooh.
Or to your competitor's business. I mean, the person may never ever go to your webpage.
Yeah.
They may call or go to an online ordering page right there. So very cool stuff.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, the number 8 tip I have today is the insight queries. This to me is so cool. So insight queries is on the Google My Business page on the back end, and it tells you what things people searched that you came up in or that people are searching. So the first 5 or 6 are going to be like, if you have a Lebanese restaurant, it's going to be Lebanese food near me. It's going to be stuff that's really specific. But further down, you want to look at like brunch near me or brunch, but that was a search term and it only drove like 7 people to your restaurant. Can you create content either in your description, in your photos that circle around brunch and constantly bring that thing up, which you would raise up and beat out your competitors that are also doing brunch? So it's really making it more relevant for the customer. And that's basically like SEO or trying to game the system a little bit. But to me, Google is giving you the tools and the keys to the kingdom on how to do that.
Yeah, and this, I don't want to be too geeky, but when you're uploading photos, are there the tag words or things or stuff you can tag to the photos? That
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So I'm thinking like you have like unbelievable pancakes or omelets or whatever, and you're tagging brunch, breakfast, Sundays, all those different things.
You're 100% on board. You're 100% right. And you also, because we're talking about local search for local independent restaurants, you can geotag stuff. So you want to make sure that you're geotagging all of those photos, and then that's going to up the algorithm, because the algorithm is going to be like, oh my God, there's 75 photos at this location, and that's going to work in conjunction with Google Maps.
It's crazy.
No, it is, but it's like a game no one knows that everyone is playing. And It's like, oh, I better get on board with this.
Right. And where do you go to get help with this? Like, if this is overwhelming to someone, because it can be for a lot of people.
Yes and no. It is super simple. First thing I would do is start by filling in the information, start by doing that, get a little familiarity with it. And then you can go on to YouTube and, 15 things to optimize your business or whatever, do some general searches. But also, if you got some questions, reach out to us here at restauranttopia.com and let us help you. I would love to go through someone's web page and look at their Google My Business account and see what things that they can do to optimize it and to really increase the traffic to them.
Yeah, this is awesome.
All right, cool. So this is
we wrap it up?
Yeah, no, we are. This is really an overview of what this service is and that it's out there, that you really need to be aware. But the takeaways are, let's see here, start today, add as much information as you can, be professional and authentic with your content, update regularly. So again, add this into your repertoire of my social media posts. Once a week, twice a week definitely needs to be done. You can use your existing content, review the analytics, and engage with your customers. You're a professional. 20 years ago, we never thought that you'd have to be a marketing professional, but afraid that you are. And this is part of it, and technology is here. So we really hope that everyone tries this and shoot us back with some feedback. Dave, anything you got?
No, I think I'm actually a little bit taken aback at how simple this sounds, and it makes me want to go and check this out some more. Like, go in and maybe work with an operator and get this done, because there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm glad you did this research. There's a lot of stuff in here I wasn't aware of, and so this seems like something that it's easy to do and needs to be started immediately. So I'm actually excited to look more into this.
All right.
No, super rad. And this is an area where the independents struggle, right? That whole, like, again, it seems like a corporate arena, but it's not. And you're saying it's easy to do, and I believe you. And as with Dave, I'm excited to show someone this, because I want to get into this too. I need to see like a real example.
This is cool as far as, I think, Google's answer to local search, because it's not designed for Walmart. This is designed for your local independent business, and including your local independent restaurant. So we love all you local independents out there. Keep staying strong, stay healthy.
All right, Brian, thanks so much for putting this together. It seems really simple and easy, and something operators can start today. If you got any questions, reach out to us. Brian would love to walk you through this. And once Anthony and I get up to speed, we'd be happy to do that as well. But Anthony, thanks for being here. Brian, thanks for all the work you put into this. And check us out on restauranttopia.com.
Nice. Great time as usual, guys. Thank you.
You guys have a great night.
Yeah, be good.
This is a high quality pod. Thank you, everybody.
Take care. Adios.
Thank you for listening to Restauranttopia. The gratitude that we have for each and every one of you spending your precious time to listen to this podcast is immeasurable. Please make sure to tell a friend about this podcast. And also, if you have any feedback for us, visit us on restauranttopia.com and drop us a line. You can also subscribe on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. Thank you, and have a great day.
Because, as it stands right now, it's presented, this might be like the most powerful thing I've ever seen for restaurant marketing. Like, I'm not even lying to you. Like, this is crazy.
Oh, dude. Yeah,
So-
get on mic.
Yeah, so much
my
better.
God, so
I
much
wondered
shit.
why there
Oh my
was.
God, that's fucking.
I was waiting till you were stopped. I was going to tell you to just move the mic over.
Yeah,
If you were going to look at
this is
Brian,
good.
like, just
I didn't think I need to have it this
my
close.
can
No,
my-
it doesn't need to be that close. But I'm just
Can-
saying, like, you were
Yeah.
you were kind of speaking into
Yeah.
this. It's
Can
kinda-
my voice sound like that?
Once you hit puberty.